Hi, welcome to Off the Tee. I'm your host, Jared Levy. Today, we're at the Dubuque Golf Country Club in Dubuque, Iowa. We'll be meeting with Dave Huffman, friend of the show, who's going to get us geared up to start the golfing season with some tips and tricks for our overall game. Let's check it out. We're back at the Dubuque Golf Country Club here at the Lodge. Dave, thanks for having us back.
It's great to be here again with you.
So today we're going to go over just getting back into the swing of things, tuning up for spring, and we're at the famous Medina Golf Course on the simulator in Chicago at 134 yards out. What's the first thing we should look to do?
So the first thing let's do are just, what are some fundamentals that starting your season you want to make sure you take care of. So as we get going here and we get you in to hit our first shot, let's focus basically on essentially your aim, or appropriate term is alignment. Okay. So let's have you go ahead and set up there.
Okay. Club behind
and
the
we'll
ball.
hit our first one, and then we'll start talking about the mistake most people make, and you can start off your season by doing some things the way tour players would do these.
Okay. All right, so just one swing
here. The normal
here.
swing.
Pulling a little left there. Found
right.
the sand.
The simulators are perfect because if you have a launch monitor accessible to you, that would help you understand some data. That would help you also control, but we're going to get into all this stuff assuming you don't have a launch monitor.
I do not.
And as we look up here and we take a super quick glance, we could look at why that ball went left, which is face angle, which is our second one down on the left-hand side. The face got closed, otherwise numbers are pretty good. Okay, so the first thing we're working on is alignment. And I've got these two yellow sticks, and so one of the things that gets noticed most by golf instructors like me, if I have a tour player or we go to a tour event, you're going to see 80-some% of players with one of these on the ground, some version of a training aid always. And you go back to your home course and you see about 0 golfers using training aids. Yeah. So we're missing the pattern of what the best players in the world do. So with the stick, all we're going to do here, Jared, is we're going to put this down parallel to the target line you're aiming. And that is hugely important. It's parallel. So in essence, if that ball's here, this is our target line. And the stick where your chest and hip line go is really your alignment. We're not worried about your feet, but your waist and your chest to be relatively parallel left as a right-handed golfer. It would be the opposite for a left-handed golfer. Okay. So let's make another swing now that we've got you aligned. And if we were outside today, what you would notice if you weren't typically aligned correctly is that all of a sudden when you looked out there, because your eyes are inside the ball, you would think you're hitting into that left bunker. And that's probably the correct alignment you'd want to have. So let's go ahead and hit 1 or 2 here with correct alignment. Solid hit.
Left of the pin. Oh, still found the bunker.
Perfect distance. So this is where you'd start. And if our viewers are watching much YouTube videos and they catch an instructor with a tour player and someone's filming an episode, that instructor typically brings up to the tour player, why do you have this down? And how often do you notice this at your home golf course? And that tour player goes, never. And then they ask him, how often do you know it among your peers, the other tour players? And he goes, all the time. So perfect place to start with your training early in the season. Make sure you're aligned okay. Most mistakes start before we even swing. Let's hit one more.
That
This one could be perfect.
should not find the bunker. Here we go.
Great shot.
We're on the green.
Number 1 Medina. Okay, the second place, let's go. We want to now check your grip.
Okay.
We want to make sure the grip. So I'm going to get rid of the second stick. And let's get set here, and I'm going to move in. So go ahead and get set as if you're getting ready to hit. And what I want you to do is stay in your golf posture and let go of this golf club and let your arms hang apart and freely. And what we want to notice is when you do this, how does this lead arm fall?
Yep.
So again, hold the club again, your normal grip. And what you'll notice, if we pay attention to this Velcro tab that's on every golf glove, if you don't wear a glove, look at the back of your hand.
Yep.
Where does that point? Now we're going to do it one more time. Let the club fall, let your arms hang, and notice how much this left arm rotated internally. Outward would be external, internally. This is your natural grip.
Okay.
So basically, when you bend over into this position, how your musculature, your bone structure, your ligature, this is who you are as an individual. So this is crucial that we get this more or less to who you are. This isn't textbook. This is who you are as an individual. On the tour, we're all over the place. There is no such thing as textbook. So we're going to show you why. Go back to your normal grip. So your normal grip, obviously this hand isn't rotated as far over.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold that again. What I'm going to do is stand up, stretch your arm out. And if I stretch your arm out and you allow me to stretch your arms, notice your arm is going to find this natural position.
Yep.
Now if you notice the club face, it just went wide open.
Yeah.
So if you do what us coaches in every sport tell you as an adult or kid, relax and have loose muscles, and this lead arm grip is incorrect, we're going to affect the club face, because this club, as it swings, gains momentum, gains weight, effective weight. For you, the face is going to open. So if we go back in and we correct this grip, see if you can find this grip the way it hung down naturally.
So
there we go. Not quite that much, but it was about there.
Yep.
And it's an easy check. You just let your arm hang when you want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Close
it's
this.
relative to textbook, it's pretty strong. Rotate it farther. There you go. Fit the right hand in. Okay. Now when we do the same test and we stretch you out, nothing happens to the face. So if you're more of an early golfer, beginning golfer, and your grip doesn't suit you, you will struggle with slices.
Okay.
If you're an experienced golfer, your brain has figured out how it has to flip or rotate your hands to save the face. So now if we go back and hit shots with this grip, within a handful of swings, you'll hit a ball off the face that feels incredible, because your brain doesn't have to work so hard with your hands. Now initially it wouldn't be surprising to see the ball go left,
Yeah.
because you've trained yourself to close the face. You had to. Your brain will still close the face. It'll quickly figure out with this grip it doesn't need to. So initially we'll hit a super powerful shot, then it'll start to get straighter and straighter as your brain adapts to the fact it doesn't need to help you anymore.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get that grip and let you make a swing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it does feel nice and closed. So let's see.
Yeah, textbook, that's considered strong. Good.
A little left, but
Very, very solid. Let's hit one more. So that would be normal. Initially, the face will close because we've moved your grip to a stronger position. Your brain will adapt. It'll
should
start-
I move the ball at all with that, or just kind of
Nope.
keep it?
Nope. You just have to hit some shots so your brain figures out it doesn't need the help anymore. Good.
It does feel like I'm.
So basically 140-yard carry.
Yeah, it feels like I'm getting more distance without trying.
Yep.
So let's.
Let's do one more.
And that one I got a little under it.
Okay.
I also tried to aim
Tried
a
to
little
kinda
bit more
correct.
right because
It's
I've
okay.
been pulling left.
And that's where you just have to kind of let it do what it does. Your brain has figured out it needs help.
Yeah.
It'll quickly figure out it doesn't with the grip that suits you. So relative to professional golfers, go ahead and sit up here one more time.
With the,
So
this is what I felt
that's
like,
kind of
but now
textbook.
it's-
That's where you are. And to give you an idea, Dustin Johnson, who's been #1 in the world, is there.
Yeah, that feels.
The right hand
Very strong.
basically once we have this left hand wherever it's positioned for a right-handed golfer, this right hand just fits in neutral into the side of your thumb and closes over. So the right hand grip is pretty standard for all terrific golfers. The left hand is across the board because of who they are.
Okay.
And there is no such thing as textbook.
I'll definitely work on that little grip change. That might.
So let's hit one more, and then let's talk about what we can do to help control the face.
Uh-oh. Might have figured something out here.
Yeah, look at the carry distance again. Good, pin high. So in all the lessons I've given, 100% of the time I've told a student that after finding their natural grip, they're going to hit a ball better than they've ever hit it.
That felt very smooth, all of those strokes.
Yep. It's not, it hasn't failed once. Then the golfer just has to figure out through repetition what gets the face squarer.
Yeah.
Because initially they'll hit it left. That was awesome.
Hey, thanks. That's a huge tip already. Hey everyone, stick around. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, so we just talked about grip, and that's something I think I'm going to take with my golf game for the rest of my life. So,
yeah, and you asked a great question, Jared. You asked, should I do this with my driver? And I kind of answered, only do it on the shots you want to hit well.
Yeah.
And so where that comes from is I was lucky as a professional golfer to get around some famous instructors. And they would get that question all the time. It's a valid question. Should I do this pitching? Should I do this chipping? Should I do this on my backswing? Should I do this with my grip?
Yep.
And relative to that type question, one of the famous instructors would be kind of curt in his reply and use some four-letter words, but the gist would be only if you want to be worth anything. So it's a great question, but you want to, this would happen with all your full swings.
Okay.
You know, with the grip change, finding who you are.
No, thank you. So what's the next tip? What's the next thing we should look at? We did alignment, we did the grip, and what's the next thing we should check when we're out on the range?
So, we showed you the grip, and of course, we told you that the ball's probably going to go left.
Yep.
Because you've trained yourself, you needed some help, and as you would hit more balls, that disappears on its own. Your brain figures out it doesn't need to roll the hands over to close the face. But, an important thing, alignment, grip, and now let's control the face. Because even though this club is attached to a long stick to help it travel farther, it's all about controlling this club head, this face.
Yes.
So let's get into basically face control. And what we're going to do to help you understand that is one of the great things I've seen from great instructors. One of them was this. They'll take a club head by itself and we'll fit it in your hand. So let's open up your hand, let's fit it in. So we take this bottom edge, and in your left hand we fit it in the bottom joint of your fingers. We stick the hosel out, now you wrap your hand around it. Looks like your grip.
Yeah.
Now you take your right hand and hold it however you hold it below. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and set up quickly. And as you're set up, you can sense right now that face kind of points at the target.
Yes.
So if you take a half backswing for us and come back down to square and feel what your arms had to do to square up that face. So do that again, square. Good. And notice you're not doing it with your body.
Yep.
Your body might be moving, supporting what your arms are doing, but you're controlling the face here with what your arms do. So do that one more time, and let's show the face to the left closed. So there's a ball that curves too much to the left.
Yep.
Show us open to the right, which is basically what is the problem with most golfers. Didn't rotate the arms enough.
Yeah.
Now we're going to test your brain here. Show us low and straight. Perfect. So you had to rotate the same amount to square it, and you just kind of bowed your wrist to deal off the club.
It down, yeah.
So this is a basic skill that great golfers have, and most golfers don't think about. Now, if we switch, we're not going to hit the first one, but let's go up and let's slowly come back down to the ball and show us straight. Now, basically, if your hands do the same thing on this grip,
Yes.
that they did with this in your hands, that club's going to react the same. They're square. Show us to the left. Perfect. So let's do that. Let's hit about a little soft, kind of 2/3 shot. So not full swing. Let's hit the first one to the left. You're just training your brain to rotate and control the face. Perfect. Now we're going to do one to the right, about the same speed. So obviously your arms won't rotate enough. They'll under-rotate. The face will be left open. Perfect. Well done. Okay. Now we're going to let you square up the face. And we're going to do the same thing, not a full swing. Good. And so basically just training yourself in this way. This is a skill most golfers don't spend any time with.
Yeah.
The golfers who have played a lot have obviously developed this without realizing they've developed it. So starting your season, it wouldn't be bad to hit a few shots, and then we work that into full speed.
Some half swings.
Yeah, because most of the game, so what these launch monitors have taught us is the ball starts where the face points. So face control is the first part of making your ball go to target, is can we get the face, can we train ourselves to get the face back relatively square? Let's hit one fully. Let's go ahead and put this in the hole.
With the new grip, let's see.
With a new grip and a square face. You might have.
That it's tracking pretty well. Short, but on target.
Great swing.
Hey everyone, stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
All right, now what's neat about this and the grip, when I was a professional golfer and was able to get around some famous instructors, I never heard a mention before those few coaches how to find your neutral grip, your natural neutral grip. Right?
Which was
so that's why it's
the,
not textbook.
The hand
right.
hanging, yep.
Yep,
Okay.
and the reason you bend over, this is important. If I stand straight up here and face a camera, and you can see my left arm, my lead arm, isn't rotated very much. Once I bend into a golf posture, our shoulder blades typically move in a fashion, and look how rotated my hand is. So you can see the change. So when you find your grip, it's important or imperative that you're in a golf posture to see where your natural lead arm grip is.
Okay, so would yours be closer to that Dustin Johnson kind of?
Mine's very much like yours.
Okay.
And most golfers are, but it's not an absolute.
Yeah, and a lot of amateur golfers probably don't realize that they should be closing it a lot more than
absolutely.
They yeah.
So they read a book, they watch a video, they get textbook, and it's not actually helping them.
They just keep it neutral.
Yeah.
Like I've been, yeah.
Okay, so two more fundamentals let's move into. Next one you mentioned earlier, ball position.
Okay.
So let's get set up. I'm going to get my stick. So the mistake most of us golfers make is, again, we're not using anything to monitor. So go ahead and set up to the ball there, Jared. And we've got this stick down that's a parallel to our target line.
Yep.
We're going to put this stick down perpendicular to that one and get a 90-degree angle. And now we've definitely got an exact visual on where the back of that ball is. Because to our eyes, our perception is not always correct. There's a saying in my world, feel isn't real, perception isn't real. So you can see the back of that ball is pretty far behind center.
Okay.
So we would love to have nothing behind center unless maybe we're in deep, deep, deep grass trying to hack it out of 5-6 inches of rough. So let's allow you to back up and let's get this short iron more centered in your stance. So now we've used a checkpoint by putting something on the ground to monitor where the ball actually is between our feet. Because now that you've moved it, it probably doesn't look center, it probably looks forward.
Feels forward, yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, a decent checkpoint is at least with short irons. We start down your spine and we gradually move forward until we get under the armpit with a driver. Tour players tend to be a tiny bit more forward than that because their body movements are so good that they can have the ball a little more forward and produce what we want. But if we start with center, I'll push this back out of the way and let you make a hit.
Okay. Ooh, pulling.
Does that make sense?
It does.
And then you as a golfer, you're going to have individual movements. So
Okay.
as an instructor, I might try to guide you moving a certain way to get optimal performance, but we're all going to have our own little movements unless we're trying to, refine, and you're working together with me and we're trying to go, okay, how do we make you the best absolute possible golfer you can be? So you experimenting on your own, start there, move the ball a little forward, move it a smidge back,
Okay.
and you're trying to find then, in essence, starting the spring, where are you the best?
Okay.
So if you're not working together with an instructor, then you're just trying to get out there, work on face control, work on alignment, work on your grip, and then work on your ball position and see what helps you the most.
No, I mean, I think that is a great starting point for, starting the season. So
Okay, good.
tips there, yeah.
One more fundamental let's get to. This one's huge. I'm going to grab the stick one more time.
Yep.
Let's get you set up. And the last fundamental is posture. And this is one that gets overlooked. So in the time I've spent studying golf swings and then playing professional golf before that, as a player, I was always monitoring my posture. So in a hotel room, I'm looking at it in a mirror. Traveling, I'm looking at a shadow. A caddy's looking at it as I'm set up. We're making sure it's right. I'm doing the best I can when I'm on my own to monitor it.
Yep.
Regular golfers don't know what that is, and then we don't also have the desire, the dedication to spend much time monitoring it. So go ahead and set up and we'll show you what we're looking for here. So for 100 years, if you look at videos, you're going to find this, whether it's a golfer who's 5'2" or a golfer who's 6'10" at the professional level. And once they get set up, we would run a vertical line from the balls of your feet, and what we would see is this vertical line, your kneecaps, the front of your kneecaps would barely touch that line, and you're good, and this would fall behind your armpit.
Okay.
So we're not quite there with your upper body. You need to feel as if you tip over into a little more forward bend, and that might cause you to have to back away, who knows, but this is our line, there are checkpoints. Back of your armpit, front of your kneecaps, down to the balls of your feet, and they call it balance points in your posture. Now you're set up the way tour players throughout history have been set up.
Yeah, I feel a little lower with that forward bend.
Good.
Again, the ball's flying nicely.
Let's do that one more
Let's,
time.
keep it right.
And that forward bend, once we get into posture and you've got those balance points, that's potentially helping you make better contact, consistent contact. We'll show a little bit why to our viewers. So you get set, you come in and check again. Bend over just a teeny bit more out that way.
So should I be further from the ball?
The ball
with
may
that?
have to adjust once you find posture, so that's the difficulty initially.
Yeah.
Now what this does, this forward bend that you have, put your spine here, so as you turn back, it's going to turn you on a little steeper shoulder angle.
Okay.
And that's going to allow a lot better consistent contact through the ball by getting the shoulders to work on a steeper angle. So that's really, really good. I'll get out of your way, give it a rip.
Whew. It felt like I
Nice,
went a lot straighter,
nice.
a lot
And
more
had a lot
spin.
of spin.
A lot more spin.
So there would be our fundamentals. So we got a proper alignment, find your grip, control the face, check your ball position, work and check your posture. Now you're
Okay.
set with the fundamentals.
So we went over a lot of things in the setup. Is there a specific order that golfers should be addressing each thing?
It's a great question. I mean, kind of. We've talked about all of these are fundamentals.
Yep.
So probably a great place to start your year is a little bit of checking your grip and then working on face control, because that's the game.
Yep.
And as a club player, someone potentially who has a job, You know, you don't have endless hours like our junior golfers, so
Yep.
a little harder to put time into every one of these aspects. But if we go to basic fundamentals, you find your grip, you start controlling the face, you check your ball position so you're making good contact, then we move into alignment to make sure that doesn't create swing issues because you're aligned incorrectly.
Okay.
Those are great. That still leaves us into working on posture. So if we were going to do anything, they're all super important, but we've got to control the face.
Yeah.
So we're starting
And hold
there.
the
Your
club
grip helps
correctly.
do that,
Yep.
so that's why grip. Ball position is making contact, so now we're talking 3.
Okay.
Getting your alignment helps facilitate those 4. Posture would probably be our last. You could get by playing solid golf, shooting in the 80s, breaking 100, shooting in the 70s without your posture being terrific. But posture then helps it get better and better and better.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me personally, it sounds like I'll need to just work on a little bit more of a forward lean. Because would that be anything with length of the club or my height, or is
As-
that just
You're going to feel a little taller with the driver. They refer to it as forward bend.
okay?
So you're basically forward bending over. And that would be, you know, the kind of the phrase. You probably won't have as much forward bend when you get to a driver, but most of your irons you will. Your
Yeah.
posture's going to look similar
this
for
is
the
a
most
wedge,
part. You're just
so.
farther away from the ball.
Well, thanks for the lesson and the tune-up. I think our viewers will love this, and I've got a lot to go practice.
We're covered for the swing.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for joining us, and special thanks to Dave Huffman and everyone here at the Dubuque Golf and Country Club. Catch us next time on Off the Tee.